welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher.
So let's jump right into it.
We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is going on, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're here for another Hot 10 breakdown of the week. If you guys aren't familiar with what I do in this video, I take the 10 hottest comics according to the Key Collector app, and I break them down one by one, letting you guys know if I'm a buyer here at these prices, or I'd be staying away, or possibly even selling. But before we get started, like always, if you're not a current subscriber of the channel, consider subscribing. Tap that subscribe button for me, smash that like button, and turn on the notification bell, because it lets you guys know when I post new videos. With that said, let's jump in to the Hot 10 breakdown. At number 10 this week is a copy of Uncanny X-Men number 101 and the first appearance of the Phoenix, and a CGC 8.5. Just sold last week for $824, up 5% since August. Now, this is a book I do want in my collection. I've owned it in the past, but there's no way I'm spending $800-something on a high-grade copy. A lot of collectors out there would. For me, it's not that important to own in high grade. I'm sticking to around a 5.0, 6.0 area and spending a lot less money for a copy of this book. They've used the Phoenix a bunch of times already in the past. In the Fox movies, I can't see them going right to that character again. You know, quickly. It's going to be years and years and years, in my opinion, before we see this character again. At number 9 this week is a copy of Superman number 76 and the first appearance of Batman in the Superman title, in a CGC 6.0. Just sold last week for $1,925, up 13% since 2019. I think this is an astronomical price for this book, in my opinion. Hey, great book. I'm glad that Batman appeared in Superman number 76, but there's no way I'm spending close to $2,000 on a mid-tier, high-grade copy of this book. There's a lot better books out there you could spend $2,000 on. Hey, I think it's cool. I think it's awesome that we have a first crossover between Batman and Superman in that title, but I think you're nuts if you're spending that kind of money. At number 8 this week is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 39 and the first appearance of my favorite cover of all time. That's right, guys. If you've been watching my channel religiously, you know I love this book. But not only that, this is the first time John Romita takes on the artwork for Spider-Man. And that's not it. This is also the first time that the Green Goblin and Spider-Man find out each other's identity in a comic book, in a CGC 5.0. Just sold last week for $550, up 22% over that 12-month rolling average. Now, I've talked about this book a million times on my channel, how I love it, and I think $500 for a mid-grade copy is a fantastic price for this book, especially if you're an Amazing Spider-Man fan like me. It's a mid-grade copy and a classic cover. You can't go wrong with this one. However, I'm not sure if it's an investment book or not, but if you're a Spidey fan like me, it's a must-own. At number 7 on this list is a copy of Batman number 227 in this iconic cover by the late, great Neal Adams, and a CGC 7.5. Just sold last week for $971, up 7% since August. You guys know I'm a Neal Adams fan. You know I love classic covers. I actually own this book right now in, I think, a 5.5 signature series signed by Neal Adams himself. This book really went up, unfortunately, after Neal's passing. It's a book I think everybody should own, but right now you kind of have to make your own decision if you want to spend almost $1,000 to own this book. It's a book I want in my collection. I believe I do have it up on my website. I don't really want to sell it, but if I decide to, then that's all right with me. But I definitely think it's a must-own book if you're a Batman and Neal Adams fan. At number 6 on this list is a copy of Iron Man number 128 in this iconic cover by Bob Layton. But this is also the Demon in the Bottle storyline, and a CGC 8.0. Just sold last week for only $158, up 15% since August. I have owned this book many times in the past. I'm going to remind you guys, this is not an investment book. It is an awesome cover, an awesome storyline out there. If you want to own anything related to Iron Man and you don't want to break the bank, this is one of the books out there that I would definitely buy. It's cheap enough where, hey, if you want to add it to your collection, I'm not going to stop you. But let's not forget, like I said, it's not an investment book. At number 5 on this list is a copy of Avengers number 43 and the first appearance of the Red Guardian. And it has been confirmed that he will be joining the Thunderbolts movie, and a CGC 8.0. Just sold last week for $395, up 2% since August. Now, I do remember when we got that first Red Cardian news that he was going to appear in Black Widow, this book spiked a bit, and I said, guys should not be buying this book right now for the amount it was going for, and I'm sticking to my guns way down the line. This book is way too expensive for the character that's going to be showing up. I don't think it's worth spending $400 on a high-grade copy of this book. Again, if you want to spend under $100 and you want the book in your collection, I'm all for that, but I'm not spending crazy amounts of money on this one, guys. At number 4 on this list is a copy of Marvel Spotlight number 2, and is the first appearance and origin of Werewolf by Night, and a CGC 5.0. Just sold the prior week for $525, up 23% since just this past August. I've been talking about this book for the better part of a couple of years. If you haven't pounced on it yet, I think it's a little bit too late. But I also told you guys, anytime I go to a show, an LCS, a con, I'm always looking to buy this book. I'm a huge 50s horror fan, and anytime I see any type of werewolf, Frankenstein, mummy, all that stuff, I always look for the prices on this stuff, and it's books that I always want to own. But that's just me. If you're not into that stuff, I'd probably be staying away from it right here, going 25% increase in just under a month. But hey, I want to own this book, so I'm probably looking to pick up a few more copies if I can grab them. At number 3 this week is a copy of Man-Thing number 1, and the first appearance of Man-Thing in his own solo title. But this is also the second appearance of Howard the Duck, and CGC 9.2. Just sold last week for $450, up 31% since July. I told you guys the Man-Thing were coming. I hope you guys listen to me, because right now I think it's too late to buy these books, especially at high grade. If you want to own these books in mid grade and you can get them for cheap, then yes, I'm definitely picking them up. I don't know how they're going to use Man-Thing going forward. I know he's going to be in the Werewolf by Night show, but after that, I have no idea if they plan to use him or not. So you got to be careful on buying these books right now. If you owned them in the past, you might want to consider selling them. But other than that, I'd probably be staying away from this one at the high grade. At number 2 on this list is a copy of Adventure into Fear number 10, and the first comic book headlining the Man-Thing, and a CGC 7.5. Just sold last week for $290, up 26% since April. Now, we just talked about Man-Thing number 1, but Adventure into Fear number 10 precedes this book, and I think at lower grades, I'd probably be a buyer. I do think this book will continue to go up over the next couple of months, while more people are speculating what they plan to do with the Man-Thing after Werewolf by Night show. But again, I'm not spending crazy amounts of money buying this thing right now. I am looking for Savage Tales number 1, the first appearance of the Man-Thing, and I'm shocked that these 2 books are on this list, and that one is it. But again, if you can't afford the Savage Tales number 1, then I'd probably go to Adventure into Fear number 10. And at the top spot, guys, is a copy of Tales to Astonish number 63, and the first full appearance of the Leader. This book was number 1 last week, and I think number 4 the week before. I talked about it back then, how I didn't want to buy it then, and I'm surely not a buyer right now. And a CGC 5.5. Just sold last week for $400, up 14% since December. Again, we know the Leader is going to show up at some point. It's already been announced, but hey, I'm not spending $400 on the first appearance of the Leader. Take that $400 and put it towards a better book on this list. Enough said. I talked about it last week. I don't need to go into it again. With that said, guys, this is the Hot 10 breakdown of the week this week. A lot of new books on this week, which I'm getting excited about. Every week we come on and we talk about some of the same books, but I'm glad to see there are new ones on the way. I'm going to give you guys my best buy of the week. Right now I have to do it. I'm sorry, guys. It is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 39 and that classic cover by John Romita. When it's my favorite book of all time, it cannot be the best buy, and I still think the book is way undervalued. For $500 at a mid-grade, I'm all over at every day. Hope you enjoyed this one. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.